right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone who continue to rule well and guide us through the Holy Spirit, the Ruach, and double honors to their teachers as well who provided the bulk of the doctrine which we teach and believe. All right, in peace and blessing, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four corners of earth, the true believers in the prophecies and promises of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I'm the brother Yagadal. I'm a Warren from GMS Houston, back here with another lesson. All right, and I just wanted to go into Matthew 24 and read a few verses and get a definition in the blue letter, which is very befitting for the times we're in, especially with the rate of men who's so-called stepping down, soul searching, taking a break, as if the Lord ain't getting ready to return, man. As if the prophecies are not showing that the Lord is on his way back soon, man. All right, we're not in a time of taking a break. We're in a time of ramping up in the spirit, man. All right, constantly going in on this devil, constantly prophesying on the downfall of this place, constantly edifying the body. Okay, Yahweh Shai told Peter 3 times to feed his lambs. Okay, so that's the mentality we supposed to be in, constantly feeding, man. All right, the prophets, the teachers are set, all right, through the Holy Spirit, through the power and authority of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right, to take care of the flock, man. Okay, if you tend into a flock, you don't get a day off. Okay, you don't get to take a hiatus. All right, but let's get into this. All right, Lord, willing to be edifying. All right, at the title, you see it says, be ready for his coming. This is Matthew 24, and starting at verse 42. It says, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. All right, so we're supposed to be on our watch. We're supposed to be watching for what? The prophecies, which is a checklist, so to speak, okay, to let us know how much closer we are to the Lord coming back, man. Okay, and it's evident that this is the end of this shit, man. All right, things are speeding up, man. This war is not dying down. All the so-called peace talks is getting thrown out the fucking window. All right, now you seeing they're speeding towards the RFID microchip. Okay, everything's being laid out, man. We're just waiting for that first major domino to fall and start knocking down the rest, man. Okay, but verse 43, it says, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. And that's why verse 42 is letting you to stay on your watch, man, because we don't know the exact time. All right, nobody but the Most High knows the exact time the Lord is going to return, all right, at his second coming. Okay, so we have to constantly be on guard, man. We can't get caught with our pants down, so to speak. Okay, all right, why? Because the Lord's coming as what? A thief in the night. Okay, verse 44, it says, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. So you got to be ready. All right. See, but when you caught up in this world, you took a bag, you teaching the word for vanity. Okay. All right. Teaching out of envy. All right. Trying to get you some pussy off the truth. Whatever you doing, you ain't locked in. All right, and on your watch, man. You're not moving in fear, okay? All right, when you go into Hebrews 11th chapter and it speak about Noah, it said he was moved with fear. That's the same thing as happened with us. We heard about the destruction. We heard about martial law. Heard about Jacob's trouble. I mean, what do we have to do to escape this? All right, so we were moved with fear. All right, and it's a lot of men showing that they lack fear, all right, by the way they're conducting themselves and calling themselves prophets and teachers, man. Okay, but obviously they're not ready. They're too caught up in the fucking world, man. Hey, you got to be bugged out of your fucking mind to be having any hope in America right now, man. All right, to be pursuing anything in this fucking place. This place is through, man. All right, but let's keep reading. It says, who then is a faithful and wise servant. Okay, so going in and being ready for the Lord. All right, yeah, this is gonna be is gonna fall over the faithful and wise servants, man. It says, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give meat in due season. Okay, now you go into 1 Corinthians 4:1. It speaks about being stewards of the Most High and stewards of the mysteries of the Most High, man. Okay, all right. So what is a steward? He's an overseer, enforcer of the law. Okay, all right. He handles all the household and management duties, man. Okay, he's a husbandman. All right, but let's get to the main verse I wanted to hit. This is Matthew 24:46. It says, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find doing. Okay, so even before I get into this definition for the word doing, all right, that obviously means you can't take a break. You can't step down. You can't go back to the drawing board. Oh, we got to go figure some things out. When the Lord wasn't dealing with you, man. Okay, so I want to get into this word doing. All right, which is G4160, poieo. All right, I'm going to go straight to the outline of biblical usage. It says to make with the names of things made, to produce, construct, form, fashion, etc. It says to be the authors of the cause. It says to make ready, to prepare. Okay, what are we preparing for? We're preparing for his second coming. Okay, by doing what? By handling the Most High's business, by prophesying, by teaching, by being a brother, by being charitable, all right, by being a benefit unto the ministry. Okay, it says to produce, bear, all right, shoot forth, and this is what we're supposed to be doing spiritually, man. All right, when he come back, he's gonna see who flipped that talent, man. Did you sit your talent under the napkin and wait and bullshit? Or was you putting in work, man? Okay, it's to acquire, to prove a thing for oneself. All right, and we trying to prove ourselves before the Most High, man. All right, fighting in the midst of our service, we're fighting through all type of hellish conditions. All right, trials and tribulations, man. Okay, it says to make a thing out of something, to make, i.e., render one anything, to make, i.e., constitute or appoint one anything, to appoint or ordain one that. It says, let me jump down a little bit. It says to put forth, to put one forth, to lead him out, to make one do something. All right, this is action. The Lord's looking for action when he comes back. Okay, who was following what I said to do? All right, who was tending to the flock? Who was feeding them? Who was guiding them? Who was protecting them? Okay, by teaching the right doctrine. Okay, by being an example in this gross, dark world, man. An example of what? Example of righteousness within a wicked kingdom. And that's what the Lord has always done with his remnant. In the midst of whatever captivity we're in, he always had a remnant, all right, that was going to stand up for righteousness, all right, and prove their faith. Okay? Down to 10th definition, it says to be the authors of a thing, to cause, bring about, to do rightly, do well. Okay? There's Ephesians the 6th chapter. I want to say 6 and 9 to 10. All right, speaks about be not weary of doing well doing. Okay? In due season you will reap. All right, reap what? Salvation, the reward that we're fighting for. Okay, it says to carry out, to execute, to do a thing unto one, to do one, to with designation of time, to pass, spend, to celebrate, keep, to make ready, and so at the same time to institute, to the celebration of the Passover. Hey, man, this has some heavy definitions, man. Okay, it says to perform to a promise. We made a promise when we agreed to do this work. When we said that we was locked in. When we said we was gonna teach this, man. Okay, we made it a promise, all right. And what was that promise? To strive for the truth unto death, man. All right. So when the Lord returns, he's going to find the ones, all right, who are making good on the promise. All right. He gave us an investment. Okay. And we were supposed to make a profit, man. Okay. So that's it for this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and other bishops at Great Millstone. All right, peace and blessings. Shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect. Keep fighting, keep pushing. We almost out of here.